Before I get this started, I know that a few fans of Drew McIntyre were upset with my introduction to one of my older videos with me falling asleep when he came out, and I just want to point out to those people, can you blame me? Drew McIntyre, the guy that says, "I'm your future world champion and I demand respect because party time's over." Can you blame me that I want to fall asleep when he comes on my TV? Anyways, let's talk about the topic at hand. And the topic at hand is, what do you want from wrestling? Truthslayer put this out there, and I felt like I needed to voice my opinion on this. Now, I, myself, have thought about this many times, and here's what I want from wrestling. I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. I want to see the return of developed and layered storylines and continuity. Now that applies mainly to WWE and TNA. I don't have to worry about this from Ring of Honor because while the storylines aren't always as strong as you would think, there's some continuity, and when they do a stipulation, you know that it means something because history has shown with Ring of Honor that they keep their word, and there's always an intriguing twist on how, like Kevin Steen returning, there's always an interesting twist as to how someone's going to come back or how the story's going to go. I would like to see that implemented in WWE and TNA, because I feel that they've gone so far away from it that it's actually hurt the show. A lot of people say they need to return to the Attitude Era, and a lot of people are saying that the PG rating is what's killing the WWE right now. And if that were true, then TNA would be doing tremendous business, because TNA is not a PG program. And if that were true, then why were people still complaining about the WWE product before it was even PG between 2003 and 2008? People had the exact same complaints. PG does not mean that you cannot have continuity. PG does not mean that you cannot have developed and layered storylines and long-term plans. And it's evident to me when I watch both shows that neither promotion has that. Give you an example, John Cena last year when he had the Nexus storyline, that's a perfect example, where continuity was completely missing, and it was missing to the point where I just completely lost interest in the storyline with Cena and Nexus and Wade Barrett. You fast forward to now, the CM Punk storyline, that got everyone excited. Everyone was talking about what CM Punk said, because it had a sense of realism to it. There was something very believable, and I think, in my opinion, he struck common ground with a lot of fans with the things that he said. And this seemed to be the beginning of an exciting storyline, but as the storyline progressed, lots of layers were removed, and then these huge plot holes began to appear, to the point now where all the momentum he had and the storyline and the company had been completely evaporated by the time Survivor Series came along. And that's something I think that, they need to return to developed and layered storylines with continuity, and every time there's an action, there's a consequence for the action. And unfortunately now in the WWE there isn't. I'll give you another example. When Cena Cena lost to The Miz, and he came out the next day smiling, saying, "Oh, I don't want to fight him ever again." Where's the drama and where's the believability in that? You had this hellacious year with the Nexus. You main event WrestleMania. This is your chance to finally put a capper on everything and win the belt. You lose because someone else screwed you to a guy that you dislike, and then the next night you come out and are smiling and are happy about it. It just completely takes away from the drama of pro wrestling, and they need to kind of remember this in their writing. Another thing that I want from pro wrestling, when I talk about Ring of Honor, I'm not as passionate about Ring of Honor as other people are. I do enjoy the Ring of Honor product. I have watched it for many years, before it was on TV and it was just a DVD product. I was a big fan of it back then. And I feel now that it's not bad, but it's not excellent. It's just okay in the middle. And what I'd like to see with Ring of Honor is for them to truly take a step back and look at the wrestling world as a whole and ask themselves what's missing from wrestling right now. What Do like a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threat analysis of the wrestling industry, and really go out there and be aggressive in their marketing and in their promoting to explain why Ring of Honor is different, and really, really turn the volume up on that. And I feel that would really create a lot more interest for me personally, and maybe for other people, in seeing the show, because I will only really watch Ring of Honor for a couple of good matches, but that's not enough. I need more. I need to really get hooked back into ROH, and I can't force myself to do that. The promotion needs to do some things too to kind of aid that and help, meet me in the middle somewhere. But that's just me, and that's just my opinion. Other things that I want from pro wrestling. This is the biggest one, and I have to be careful of how I word this. So I'm going to think about it for a second, and now I'm going to say it like this. The main thing that I want from pro wrestling, not to be insulted anymore. I've always felt that the WWE and TNA are at a point where they think that their fans are stupid, and that they think that their fans are idiots, and that all fans should just be sheep and clap to whatever they tell them to clap to. And whenever a fan has a concern, and it doesn't necessarily mean about who is getting the big push or who's not getting the push, or this guy's supposed to be winning and not winning, I'm not necessarily talking about that. But when a fan has a concern, and even if it is one of those concerns, and they voice that, they're insulted. They're called idiots. They're looked down upon. They're degraded. Oh, you're part of the 10%ers. You don't really matter. And if there's one thing I want from wrestling, again, it's to not be insulted by the major promotions. I've never, ever, ever once got that kind of vibe from Ring of Honor, and God bless them for, kind of staying like that in a sense. I've never, ever gotten that vibe from Shikara. I've never, ever gotten that vibe from New Japan Pro Wrestling, from CMLL, AAA to an extent, none of those promotions. But WWE and TNA and the people who run that, I feel, really, really look down on their wrestling fans. And when you watch the show now, and when you hear figureheads within the company talk about fans' concerns, you can kind of see the attitude there. That, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Oh, they're idiots. They're idiots. Going on the internet. No one cares. No one cares. And that bothers me. That bothers me that that's what they think of their fans. And it bothers me that they believe they can get away with writing and producing a really bad show with bad plot holes and no logic going right out the window and thinking that that's acceptable. And to me, I take that as an insult. And to me, when you've got these figureheads insulting their fans, and really, they give off this image of being, for the people, for the fans, a family, and all of that hot shit that they say, yet they insult their fans at every turn. And if you want to make a comparison, I feel, with my experiences as a fan of the UFC, that I am welcomed with open arms and listened to more as a fan of the UFC than I am with the WWE. Look at how the UFC makes themselves open to fans, and then look at how WWE and TNA are towards their fans, and it's quite worrying. It is actually, and it makes me wonder if they really, really want to grow and want to add new fans to their form of entertainment. I mean, that's the thing. I would love to see these two major promotions gain sight on what makes them what they are, and it is the fans. And they say it, but saying it and actually doing it are two different things. And I've always felt that. There's a quote that I stole from someone else, and it's, you can never look down on someone for looking up to you. And fans of the WWE, fans of TNA, look up to that promotion. yet those promotions look down on their fans, and that's very, very unfortunate, and it's very, very, it's a sad thing to hear. But let's end this on a positive note. Is there a promotion out there that's doing it for me right now? Then yes, there is a promotion doing it for me right now. I really enjoy watching Chikara. Chikara is good, light-hearted, fun entertainment, and it's a PG product, but it's a good PG product, which again dispels the myth of PG killing pro wrestling. And I've had so much fun watching that. I mean, I can laugh, I can be entertained for the hour and a half, or 2 hours, or 3 hours, depending on what DVD I get. I can just sit there and enjoy and feel like a fan, and be a fan again, and feel like I'm being listened to when I say something about the promotion. And God bless Shakara for doing that. And funnily enough, even though this promotion is owned by the WWE, I really enjoy watching Florida Championship Wrestling, which is quite strange because I really hated that show about a year ago. But as of late, the last maybe 4 or 5 months, I've really enjoyed watching FCW to the point now where I don't really watch Raw, but I will sit down and watch Florida Championship Wrestling because there's simple storylines, there's development each week, the promos are good, and there are people that I'm interested in seeing. I'd rather watch William Regal versus Dean Ambrose than watch the main event of Raw, and that's saying something. And there you go. That's why, I mean, I enjoy watching Florida Championship Wrestling. There are guys that I followed on the indie scene that are up there. There are some potential guys that could, be players in the future up there. And I just enjoy seeing how they're used. And it's a good, simple wrestling show. And funnily enough, it's a wrestling show produced and written by actual wrestlers. And I feel that these people don't look down on their fans. And it's a shame that this attitude hasn't made its way to the top of that promotion in the WWE. But anyways, that's me. I apologise if it sounds a bit rushed. I apologise if I sound a bit weary or if it sounds a bit funny. I just wanted to get this out there while I had the time because with my working schedule it's going to be kind of impossible to do some videos. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I look forward to hearing what everyone else out there has to say. And yeah, that's it. I'm done for now. Take care.